Welcome back. We are your Big Drag Entertainment. I'm Kelly Kissick, and I am here with Greg Torgerson, and he is the owner of Pink Buckle Stallion PCR Pink Cadillac. Greg, this is such a neat stud, and he's one that you raised, and so we want to know about his backstory and why he was the perfect cross that you wanted to invest in.
You know, there's been a kind of a unique line that we have followed that my wife was very successful on throughout her career as a barrel racer, as a young athlete. A funny little story, she rode a horse named Lane, and he was a Lane's Leinster. Her dad loved the race horses, loved to follow the lines. This was quite a challenging horse that her dad bought her as a 3-year-old. And she took this horse from a 4-year-old, her 4-year-old year, the horse's 4-year-old year. Her freshman year in high school, she qualified for state in the spring, and won every round at the state finals in Utah, in the tough Utah competition. Ended up being very successful on that horse, and he's a Lane's Leinster. Went on and won state championships on that horse as a 5-, 6-, and 7-year-old. So that's kind of where we derived and really started following the Lane's Leinster line, and we felt, obviously Dash to Fame needs no introduction to the barrel world. So we felt that was an excellent cross to cross on. So as when Katie and I got together and started seeking out horses, I tried to find every Lane's Leinster mare I could find.
Wow, that is such a cool story. And share a little bit of the story of Lane's Leinster for those who don't know. We've become very familiar with him through studs like the Goodbye Lane and your stud, and I mean he's really in the pedigree of some incredible horses. Just tell us a little bit. Was he, from that region? What's his history?
Yes, definitely. And back in the 80s and 90s, Lane's Leinster was very significant sire. A Leinster House is his sire. He had to earn it the hard way. Lane's Leinster, in my opinion, was a very, very solid ironclad horse. I mean, from my research and those lines, of course they're a little quirky. They have their own quirks about them, of what how they their personalities, but that was what really intrigued us back in the day. As my wife had a lot of success on that Lane's Leinster horse, so that was kind of our path forward in breeding to Dash to Fame. I found as many Lane's Leinster mares as I could, because obviously he was deceased. His last crop was like 2001 maybe. So they're getting old, and I've still got his mother right now. She's, of course, starting to show her age, but she's a really nice, we love her.
You are a family man. You have many young children at home still, and we were just talking a little bit off camera about how, you're seeing your kids grow up on these horses, and you're raising the horses that your kids are competing on and that they're learning on. How rewarding is that? It's all we've thought. Obviously this game can go various directions, and we decided back when we started is we wanted something that our children could not only be safe on, but have a chance to compete on. And it's a long road, let me tell you. I mean, we're just barely starting to see 2 or 3 of Pink Cadillac's offspring come into the pens, but in the next few years I feel he's got some nice foals in hands that are going to expose them, and it's just a waiting game. It's a long time. What did you see in him as a baby that we're all going to get to see in his offspring here in the next few years?
He's as gritty, and to be honest, he's a running type bred horse. And he's the cowiest horse I've ever ridden.
Wow. I
mean, literally sorting some pairs, working some cattle in a pen. As a 4-year-old, I had to sort through about 80 head of mother calves, cows and calves, and it was quite funny. He'd pin his ears, he literally would just roll back, and he, obviously he's not a cow horse, but he showed a lot of strong lines that way. But not only their grit, he's been sound. We've never really had any issues with him anywhere. But he himself has had a lot of grit, just like his mother.
But a lot of grit and contribution. I mean, Dash to Fames are just amazing. They all are.
Final question for you before we wrap up this Big Drag segment. You guys are running some pretty incredible specials this week. Can you tell us about that and how people can get in on this really good deal that you're offering?
Yes, so obviously we want to thank the Pink Buckle, the Ruby Buckles, all of the buckles for what they've done for our industry, for the barrel industry in the whole. We are running a special here this week that if you do book here at the event, you get, we will pay your first nominations into whichever buckles you choose, whether it be Rayetta, Ruby, or a Pink, or all three. We're going to offer a first nomination if you book here on site at the Pink Buckle event.
All right, very good. Well, you heard it. If you're here and you're watching and you're at Pink Buckle, you can get those first year nominations completely paid for. Greg, thank you for your time, and we wish you the best of luck this week.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Okay, back to the barrel racing.